Hi guys, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're looking at a VTOMAN Jump 2200 power station. If you know me, you know I'm absolutely obsessed with the solar power and the power stations themselves. I do have them all around the house and we have them in our camper van as well. I think nowadays what's currently happening is really important, whether you're prepper or not, just to have some backup power. If you think we're constantly warned by government that we're going to be having a power outages because there's not enough power, there are also threats about the solar storms, and generally there's a lot of bad weather going around that quite often leaves people without power for days. See, myself, I live in a village and we are constantly losing power. Every time there's a little storm or just a strong wind, we are constantly losing this between 2 to 4 hours. Not a lot, but by having one of those, that means I can still run my fridge, freezers and other things as well for an emergency. Anyhow, the VTOMAN kindly offered me one of those for the review, and because I do have an absolute obsession with the power station, of course I couldn't say no. So this power station is 1548 watt hours, which is rather amazing. It's got 2200 watts and it's got 4400 surge, which is rather amazing. I don't think I've actually seen any power stations of that size that offer that kind of power. So it comes in a lovely little box and it gives you some features on there as well. So for example, it tells you here is 1548 watts, but the beauty of that unit as well is actually expandable to 3096 watt hours with the Jump 1500, which is the extra battery. It tells you here that it's got the LiFePort 4 battery, which is great. One really good point I've noticed about it, that bearing in mind it is rather hefty at 17.5 kilos, it's actually rather small for what it's got to offer comparing to some other power stations, which is really, really good. And it tells you here, obviously, how you can power this and other bits as well, which we'll have a look at closer in. So nonetheless, the first time, right, I've seen one of these power stations, believe this or not, is when I went camping. And it actually caught my eye because of the color, because of the little orange and the black. And the guy was there sitting down outside his camper. He's had the solar panels as well that had orange on it. And I just couldn't help myself just to go and talk to him because it just caught my eye. So when this one arrived, and of course that was orange as well. And for some reason, it's something about it that just makes it stand out. I think it's the color combination of the black and orange. It just makes it slightly different, but I do really like it. So genuinely, as you see, here it's in front of me. As I said, it weighs 17.5 kilos, which is acceptable. It does have a really nice rugged handle here. It's got nice sort of plasticky finish to the top of it, really smooth. And you can see it's got the designs all over it. So in the box, right, so obviously came in the box itself. It did come with some stickers as well, which I think is actually rather amusing. Because we have built the camper van and we're going to be traveling, I don't know, something about having stickers when you go somewhere like in the campus, I don't know, I think it's really cool. So you can then stick them in on your windows or something, just to let people, if you wanted to let people know that, you know, your camper van is maybe powered by the VTOMAN. But nonetheless, I think it's a little touch, but I think it's really good touch at that. Right, so comes with a little manual. Okay, it's nothing specific there. It just gives you some information how to connect your solar panels if you do buy some. It just tells you what the buttons mean and things like that. But we'll have a look at this closer in. It's really, really self-explanatory. So it does come with a power, and unlike some other ones, it does power itself by a different little headphone jack. It's 5.2 by 2.1, I think it's millimeters, but nonetheless comes with a power brick. And it comes with the kettle lid that you plug in here if you wanted it to charge you through the mains. All the cables and the power brick comes in a little case. I do like the idea that it's got the brand on it, because again, if you like myself, do have a different brand and amounts of them, and the cables obviously different for different units with the different powers and things like that. So to have a little case there that tells you what it is for is a good idea. And then on the inside, right, it comes with the different compartments, so everything will fit there kind of neatly. But it comes with a cigarette lighter, okay, because you've got the cigarette lighter port, so you can charge certain things that do require that. It comes with the USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable, and it comes with a USB-A to USB Type-C as well. It's just, I feel it's like a nice little touch to just have extra cables there handy for you. So there we are. Okay, so now guys, what I'm going to do, let me just turn the camera around and we actually have a closer look at that unit itself. So here we are. You can see a close-up a little bit better. You can see the nice sort of smooth, dark finish and the bright orange around, which I just think is absolutely brilliant. I do like the idea that the buttons are also in bright orange. I find it sometimes if you're outside and it's a little bit dusky, if you plug in something in, you're not always able to sort of to see the button. Yes, you can feel them sometimes, but I think it's quite a nice touch to be able to see them in a slightly brighter color. And just generally, it just makes it look just a little bit more smarter. Anyway, so the reason that VTOMAN called a Jump 2200 is because here we have a port. And you can actually buy an accessory. That means you can actually jump start your car, which is, I think, is absolutely brilliant. I haven't seen or known any of the power stations, power units that give you the option of being able to start your car, which is, I think, is absolutely brilliant. So if you do go camping, if you get stuck somewhere or you can help somebody out, you're able to just buy yourself some cables and basically jumpstart the car. I think it's brilliant. And on here, this is the port, okay, where you plug in your expansion battery if you decided to buy so. So here, okay, so we just power this on, right? So display comes on. Display is a reasonable size. It displays you the current battery capacity and the watts in or out, which we currently don't have anything plugged in. So here you've got yourself the input, and as I said, you can charge this via the cable supplied, or you can charge it via the solar panel if you wish to buy it. The maximum solar input and maximum input is 400 watts. You've got here, you've got two USB Type-C outputs, of course cable provided as well, which is brilliant. And then you've got yourself the 4 USB Type-A's, you've got the 3 of the normal ones, and you've got the quick charge, which is 3.0. And here you've got the DC, you've got yourself the cigarette lighter and 2 little bullet connectors here as well. And in here, just self-explanatory, you've got the 3-pin plugs times 3. So generally if you plug something in, you press the button and it tells you that it's currently in use. You can see the fan just comes on for a second. They've got 2 fans either side, which I'll show you in a minute. So I pressed everything and you can see at the bottom, it just displays what's on. And if you turn it off, you can see it's currently not powered. And it goes off. So it's pretty straightforward. Everything's there. You don't really have to do any guesswork when it comes to the unit. It's on, you plug it in, plug something on, put it on, and it's showing you. So let me plug something in now. So I'm going to plug in the light in here, just to demonstrate to you, and then we'll do something later as well. Right, so light on. There we go. Put it on. Fan comes on, and it's... Oh, let's actually turn the light on. Here we go. So tell me that the light is now taking 9 watts. Okay, and we can run this light for 66 hours. Do bear in mind that the battery is currently not full. It's only at 86%. But basically, to give you an idea, say if we're talking about 1548 watt hours, if you're taking an appliance that's taking, say, 154 watt hours, that means you can run this appliance for 10 hours approximately. So anyway, so this is the front. So let me turn around. So this is the side of the unit, and you can see you've got the fans in here and some details as well. I do like the fact that those fans are quite secluded, if that makes sense. They're quite covered, the panel, because quite often I find the ones that are a little bit more exposed, you get quite a bit more dust getting in there, and it's a little bit difficult to clean. With that, I just like the idea that it's really sort of streamlined, just really nicely done. So let me turn you and show you the back. So this is the back, right? And again, you've got some information here. It's just basically, if you really wanted to know the wattage of the USB's output, it's all there, tell you the power there, tell you the maximum output on input as well, just for your information. And you'll never lose that because it is on the back of the unit, which is great. And what I like about that as well is you have a big torch in here, or big light. So if you do go camping, so let me show you, you've got 5 options, okay? It's rather bright. See, you've got 5 options of you got brightness, and then you got the SOS and the flashlight, which I think it's a brilliant idea. As I said, if you do go camping, or if it lives in a camper, under the bed, whatever you do, I find it's quite handy to be able to just press the light, illuminate a dark space. Again, totally personal, but I think it's a really, really good idea. So now let's talk about what it can run. So this is a 2200 watts and it's 4400 surge. To be fair, majority of the appliances you run will fall below 2200 watts. Of course, this is at 2200 watts combined. So for example, if you have a kettle that will take the whole 2200 watts, that means you can only run a kettle alone. If you've got different appliances that draw, say, 100 watts, 500 watts, then combinedly this machine will give out 2200 watts. And when we're talking about this surge, so basically in a lot of cases where you plug in certain appliances, they automatically draw quite a bit more power for a split amount of the time. So that means that this unit can handle a peak initially of 4,400. So if you do plug in a kettle and something else, if they peak above 2200 to 4,400, this machine is able to handle that. And it happens quite a lot, but nothing really peaks at such a high level. In terms of the running, what you can run from it, guys, it depending, of course, what you're buying this for. Those machines easily will run yourself a fridge and freezer. Fridge freezers roughly take between 100 watts, 70 watts, depending how old they are. But at the same time, the fridge freezers only kick in as and when the power needed. So it's never going to be a continuous 100 watts. The same is really applicable to the washing machine. And this is where I like personally to use the power unit. We have the solar panels outside, and then we swap and change units, charge them up. And I always have a couple of units there in utility that are also always full of power. So when I do run my washing machine, it's always run for free through the power. See, my washing machine runs maximum on a 30-degree wash at 1600, 1700 watts, give or take. But half of the time when it just spins or it just warms up, it only consumes like 70, 80 watts. So as an average, this unit for my washing machine on a 30 wash can do 2.5 washes. Again, all depending on the load, all depending on the weight. And with the wattage as well, see, I've got the kettle here, which I might as well put on. The kettle takes between 1500 and 2200. So we are kind of on the upper limit. So when you do plug stuff in, obviously, it's important to check the wattage to make sure. But nonetheless, so if I'm going to flick the kettle here, okay, so the fan comes on, and I'm going to put the light on as well. And in the display, it will tell us here. So we've got 2,300. Okay, so you can see it's peaked above 2,200, but machines dealt with that without any issues. The kettle's still red, all right, so it's still going. And it basically tells us here that we've got, say, 1 hour running that if for both of those appliances together, taking that wattage. Of course, kettle is not going to take an hour to boil, so I'm just going to turn the light off so it's not being blinding. And we just wait. It shouldn't take that long. But see, as well, for ourselves in a camper van, we have a coffee machine. And yes, we do have things that we made as a permanent power if we do go to the campsite. But at the same time, we're also using the power stations as well. And again, our little coffee machine, the little pod one, only takes 1500 watts. And it takes splits, I don't know, maybe less than a minute to make you a cup of coffee. So to be able to power that up as well with that machine, in our case, it's a very good idea. So kettle is now, it's boiling. It's pretty much, hopefully you guys can hear me okay, because it's right under my microphone. Here we go. And we have boiled the kettle, and we still have, here we go, it's now coming down. So we are on, was it 80, 81%. So it hasn't lost that much at all. So if you think, that was probably took, what, maybe less than 2 minutes at all to boil that. So that just tells you there's pretty much nothing that machine can handle. I don't really know any appliances, maybe a dishwasher, maybe. But even though they run for a very long time anyway. But nonetheless, there's no sort of machines or no appliances at home that really run higher than 2200. Again, if you're using this outside, you can plug in your chainsaws, anything else, or not chainsaws, but any appliances there. Again, we tried that before. Everything on average takes about 1000 watts. So it gives you a rough idea that this machine can really handle quite a lot. So there we are. As I said, right, I've been using that machine for about 2 weeks now. And I gotta say, to be fair, it's nothing really there that I dislike about the machine. The fans come on. They are a little bit loud, but it happens quite a lot with all the sort of big, powerful machines. The fans do come on, but they come on and then they go off rather quickly. The only thing, again, it's got the handle here, which is great. Okay, you've got enough space there for 2 hands. In my instance, to live that. But again, would be nice to have maybe handles on the side so I can stack the battery on top if I had the spare battery. But again, it's not. It's just their detail. It's how it's designed. You've got the orange there. It just looks nice, okay? The worst case scenario, if you do buy the battery, expansion battery, you just have to put this next to that. That's not really a big deal. So that's that, guys. There's nothing really more to say about it. It's a great little unit. And the most important thing as well, obviously, you can buy yourselves an accessories. If you go on their website, you can buy yourself a jump starter. You can buy the solar panels if you really wanted to. It is, of course, is totally up to you. But the good, really good thing as well, those prices on those machines are actually very good. Do check out their website, because you can buy them as a bundles with the expansion battery for, and I mean like a very, very good price. And so far, there's nothing there that's compromised. It's smaller than average for the size of the machine, for the wattage of the machine. It looks good. It's nothing there to say that they sacrificed on the quality or the looks with a really, really good price. So anyhow, I do hope you have enjoyed this video, find this helpful. I'm going to put all the information and all the details in the description down below. Otherwise, well, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you soon. Bye bye.